I'm a bad motherfucker.
Places I'm going in Europe, I'll be honest.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm going to places that don't speak English as a first language, and I'd rather go to places that do.
Yeah, I have to
And-
imagine there are better crowds in Dublin.
So,
too.
by the way, I think we're adding a Sunday in London. So we have, we're doing the Leicester Square Theater on Saturday, April 6th. That has sold out. So we added I think, is it 800 seats, Misha, the new theater? And so we don't have that ticket link, right? So as soon as we get that ticket link, we'll put it up, and all our friends in London can buy a ticket to that show, and we'll see them there. Next time I go, I really feel like anyway, I feel like canceling half the shows, and going to Dublin. Yeah, I want to go there. So
Your people, Jimmy.
I'm going to see if I could. I'm going to Stockholm. We're going to Stockholm, Oslo, Berlin,
Amsterdam, right?
Amsterdam, and Rotterdam. I think one of those dams is good enough.
Do you need all those
Yeah.
dams?
And I say we go to Rotterdam because the deal I'm getting at the theater is much better in Rotterdam than Amsterdam. In fact, I don't really even want to go to do that show. I love Amsterdam. I've been there once before, and Rotterdam.
I always wanted to go, but then weed was legalized.
Yeah, we got legalized, so there's really
I'm sure
no need to go.
I could just watch a thing about the Anne Frank.
So we're going to Stockholm,
We have whores at
Rotterdam,
home.
Amsterdam, Berlin, Copenhagen, and then London. So those are the places we're going.
Why don't you go to Dublin and tell those proddy cunts?
I'd rather go to London and where are the Beatles from? Liverpool, and then go to Scotland and Ireland. That's what I'd like to do. And I don't really know the difference between Wales and the rest of the UK.
So it has to do with sheep.
Hey, do you know where they get virgin wool from?
Not Wales.
They get it from the sheep that run faster than the shepherds. That's where they get it from. Come on, you guys. These are jokes.
You think of New Zealand then?
Hey, guess what? The Slovak prime minister said Ukraine must give up territory to end the Russian invasion.
Whoa.
Yes. Fun fact. Did you know? Yes. Hang on. I don't. This is the wrong one. I have the wrong.
Well, a Slovak sounds like a
Hang
slur
on.
for a more correct.
It does sound like
You Slovak.
he's a Slovak. I think it's you're right. It does sound like a slur.
Especially saying crazy talk like this.
I mean, what does this guy know about any of this anyway? He's nowhere near the conflict, right?
Also, they did give up territory.
It's much better to get advice from people in America, don't you think, Kurt?
What was that?
You know,
advice?
the people who can see Russia from their porch.
Hey, we're getting ground up on here. That means it's working.
He also reiterated his opposition to Ukraine's membership in NATO. Did you know that?
Well, then he joins U.S. because we're never letting them in NATO. We never had any intention of that. Sweden will get in. Oh, they did.
Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico, or do you say FICO score, said on Saturday that the only way to end Russia's war against Ukraine is for Kiev, or do you say Kiev like a real asshole?
I say Kev. I want to reiterate. Kev.
It's not chicken Kev, it's chicken Kiev, and we all know this. So to give up some of its territory to the invaders and reiterate that, first of all, to call them invaders. Anyway, his opposition to NATO membership for Ukraine, too. There has to be some kind of compromise, FICO told Slovak public. There it is, you Slovak public broadcaster, RTVS. Boy, I think I got a vaccine for that, for the RTVS. Anyway.
That's part of the triple-demic.
Boy, wait till you find out. You know that HPV vaccine? Wait till you find. My friend just wrote a.
I did find out. My girl was telling. Oh.
Yeah. Wait till you find out. Oh, we're on Rumble.
Her friend got it from it.
Yeah.
Whoops-a-doodle.
And it's supposed to prevent cancer, but anyway.
I got HPV the fun way. Through an incentive program.
What do they expect, that the Russians will leave Crimea, Donbass, and Luhansk? That's unrealistic.
Yeah, they already have it. Ukraine give it up.
Yeah.
You don't have it.
Boy, that's a negative. What a Debbie Downer this guy is.
I know. I mean, it's really amazing to watch the level of no one cares about this, and yet they're still going to pay money to it. There's no one cares. It's only Israel. And right now, I haven't really even been hearing that much Israel stuff. I think a lot of it's like, the Oscars.
Well, my joke
Did Barbie win?
My joke about Israel's finally started working.
What?
I don't want to say it.
Oh, okay.
I want people to have to come out and see those. I have like 15 minutes of Israel-Palestine jokes at least now. The pro-Russian prime minister took power in December after his leftist populist Smer party. I thought it was called the Smear Party.
Yeah,
but it's the Smer
it's
Party.
A vicious Smer.
Smer Party won September's election with promises to stop sending weapons to Ukraine, to block Kiev's potential NATO membership, and to oppose sanctions on Russia.
What? Excuse me, Smer? Smer, please, can you not? Please don't do that, Smer.
Okay. Fico reiterated his opposition to Ukraine's bid to join NATO in Saturday's interview, which came ahead of a planned meeting between the Slovak leader and Ukrainian Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal on Wednesday. I will tell them that I am against the membership of Ukraine in NATO and that I will veto it. It would merely be a basis for World War III and nothing else. Well, he's right about this. Ukraine is not an independent and sovereign country. Oh, this is my favorite part. So he says Ukraine is not an independent and sovereign country. It's under the total influence and control of the United States. You want to hear him say it? Here he is saying it. I'll have to read it to you, but if you could hear his voice underneath. Since 2014, after the Maidan Ukrainian, so that's the coup. So the Maidan he's talking about the coup that the CIA instituted in Ukraine and overthrew their democratically elected government because that government was more favorable to Russia than they were to the European Union. And so the United States can't have that. So the CIA got in bed with Nazis and overthrew the government in a coup. That's what happened. So he's talking about after that coup that the CIA instituted or instigated, Ukraine came under the total and absolute control.
I have to add context to this, Jimmy. It came under control of our shadow bank, of our many shadow international corporations and BlackRock and such.
That's correct. Why did President of Russia give the order to use military force in Ukraine? Well, imagine having, hang on, I got to back this up. He said, well, imagine having Mexico, which is next door to you, and imagine that Mexico and the Ministry of Defense is completely under the control of the Russian Federation. The entire political scene, including the prime minister, is under the control of the Russian Federation. He's talking about in Ukraine. Now imagine that the Russians were to push Mexico into some kind of military organization in which Russia plays the dominant role. What would you do? The argument is rational.
But he's forgetting about the post-World War II international order. You see, Jimmy?
That's right.
What about norms?
What about
a lot of norms to consider.
Orders? All right, come back. Ukraine is not a sovereign, independent country. Ukraine is under absolute direct control of the United States.
Then why can't we check where the money goes?
I brought this up with Marianne Williamson, and she pretended that wasn't the case. Remember
Marianne?
that? Do you remember? Were you here for that interview?
The lady that sells New Age bullshit was a little bit less than forthcoming. I wouldn't have seen that coming.
The Course in Miracles.
But miraculously, she didn't know what the hell you were talking about.
It was a miracle. That she could be that ignorant on Ukraine and still support it. Ukraine is not a sovereign, independent country. Ukraine is under absolute direct control of the United States. And there you have, that's my favorite part of this.
I mean, just not the money. That disappears from our site the minute it goes there.
The Slovak PM last week expressed support for Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban in blocking a $50 billion EU aid package for Ukraine in December. You know, Chomsky thinks Orban is the second coming of Hitler.
Really?
Yeah. I will never agree that a country should be, but he's all for, killing people who won't take a vaccine. Starving them anyway.
Is he on Ukraine's side, not Chomsky? Or
no, I think Chomsky tells us he's got his head on straight about Ukraine.
Is it because Viktor Orban's like anti-immigration?
I think so.
I know he uses a lot of their money to build like useless football stadiums they don't need, but again, better investment than Ukraine.
That's right.
The most worthless football stadium.
I would rather they took the money they spent on Ukraine, the United States, and built football stadiums here in the United States.
Ghost ones.
Because then at least we'd have jobs.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You'd have to hire Americans to build those things. Imagine $100 billion in building in America, and we could hire people to do it. Anyway, I will never agree that a country should be punished for fighting for its sovereignty. I will never agree with such an attack on Hungary, Fico said on Tuesday during a joint press conference with Orban in Budapest. Slovakia's culture ministry also announced it will resume cooperation with Russia and Belarus following its suspension in March 2022 after Russia invaded Ukraine. That's from Politico. Look at that. So the Slovakian guy got his head on right, eh? And I think it looks like some of the people over there, Slovakia, I don't know anything.
It's from Hostel, the movie Hostel. I can't believe that he would drop the ball. Like, now is the time to believe in Ukraine more than ever. Now is the time to believe Amber Heard more than ever.
That's right. When are people in Germany and other places going to stand up like this guy standing up? When Germany is just America's bitch.
Well, it sounds like the farmers are doing it. Or does the leaders of Germany, though?
That's
No,
what I'm talking about, the politicians.
That will never happen. They're literally going to have some kind of German farmer poo revolution.
Okay, over to Steph.
Hey, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there for more AM Joy and the rest of MSNBC. And click on any of the videos right here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. And you can get more videos from MSNBC for free every day with our newsletter. Just visit